happenings in our country and beyond our borders. A sad day and a sad period it is in the country. This is after 21 lives were lost along Kisumu Road, and this is just after another accident at Naivasha where 8 lives were claimed. Not forgetting yesterday, just a day ago, where an Amref aircraft crash landed in Mwihoko, killing another 6 people. And not forgetting a day before where in Ghana 8 government officials were killed in a plane crash. This has been a sad period, and we continue to pray for the souls of the departed and the families that have been left with many questions. We have this and more in our bulletin tonight, but first let's get a proper introduction. This is Kutv Primetime News with Mutegi K. Martin. And Sami Okello joins us in the sign language interpretation tonight. Welcome to the next 50 or so minutes of information on what's happening in our country and beyond our borders. Now, the government has suspended 40 hospitals across the country, with 12 counties named in a press briefing by Health Cabinet Secretary Aden Duale. The suspensions follow investigations into alleged fraud, with Duale emphasizing that all facilities must strictly comply with regulations.
Together with Social Health Authority CEO Dr. Mercy Mwagange, announced the immediate suspension of 40 health facilities from the National Health Insurance Scheme. The decision comes following investigations by the Directorate of Criminal Investigations, which uncovered various fraudulent practices. The actions is in line with Section 48 of the Social Health Insurance Act of 2023. Duale reiterated that hospitals must adhere to lay down rules and regulations or face legal consequences. The suspended hospitals are located across 12 counties: Nairobi, Bungoma, Kakamega, Homa Bay, Vihiga, Busia, Kajiado, Wajir, Kisumu, Kilifi, Mandera, and Kirinyaga. The Social Health Authority (SHA), which aims to deliver universal health care through affordable and quality services, has now declared these facilities inactive on its platforms. According to the Ministry of Health, the fraud cases involve range of offenses including fake inpatient claims, double billing, and submission of claims for non-existent patients. Several health workers have been implicated, including 8 doctors. In response, the Social Health Authority has immediately revoked their access to all authorities' systems. The ministry says it remains firmly committed to maintaining integrity in the health sector. Investigations are still ongoing, and authorities have promised to take decisive action against any individual or facility found to be in breach of regulations. Further updates are expected in the coming days. Beryl Otieno, KU TV.
Now, church leaders are being urged to provide strong moral guidance and resist political manipulation. This call comes during the Difference Makers Conference in Nairobi, where evangelical leaders warned against clergy accepting political donations at the expense of biblical truth and accountability.
At the gathering, church leaders cautioned against aligning with political interests, particularly when politicians present large cash donations at the altar. They warned that such practices undermine the church's independence and shift the focus from the true gospel to political propaganda. The conference, attended by over 800 pastors from across Kenya, focused on empowering congregations through sound biblical teachings and community development. Speaking during the gathering, Bishop Omondi urged the church to stand firm, remain true to the word, and call out evil in society without fear or favor.
The church is a place where a conversation about a society that is united, a people that live with one another in peace and unity can be cultivated.
He emphasized that the pulpit must never be turned into a political podium, stating that loyalty must always be to God's truth and not to politicians' checks. He further called on church leaders to remain a moral voice in the nation and to speak truth to power without compromise.
We need a nation where people fear God, where people love God, a nation where everyone love each other, and no conversation about tribe.
The visiting American pastor Johnny Hunt also spoke, encouraging church leaders in Africa to defend the rights of their congregations and to lead them according to biblical teachings.
We believe the church can work hand in hand with the government in making a difference. Coming from the United States, I've been honored to be invited by President Donald Trump to serve really on a prayer committee, one that would speak counsel into his life.
The conference also placed a strong emphasis on youth, urging them to take charge of their destinies, reject political manipulation, and hold leaders accountable at all levels.
And President William Ruto has announced a new national framework to compensate victims of protests and riots across Kenya. Established under the executive order of the president, the initiative aims to provide reparations to civilians and security personnel injured or killed during demonstrations since 2017. The framework will be implemented in collaboration with the Attorney General's Office, Ministry of Interior, and National Treasury. The senior advisor, Makau Mutua, will lead the 120-day coordination team. This move seeks to balance the right to protest with public safety and response to nationwide calls for justice and accountability. President William Ruto has also unveiled a bold new chapter in Kenya's political evolution, announcing a working partnership with former Prime Minister Raila Odinga to form a broad-based government. Speaking during the funeral of former Karachonyo MP Dr. Phoebe Muga Asio in Homa Bay County, Ruto also launched a compensation plan for victims of past violent protests and pledged transformative infrastructure investments in the region.
President William Ruto has revealed that he is working hand in hand with former Prime Minister Raila Odinga to craft an inclusive government, one that reflects Kenya's diversity and strives for unity, equity, and lasting peace.
Under this broad-based government, because of the Honorable Raila Odinga working with me to put together this broad-based government, Kenya has a date with destiny.
In a significant gesture towards national healing, Ruto announced the creation of a compensation framework for those killed or injured in political protest since the year 2017, acknowledging past pain while seeking collective healing.
Let me also say that as part of the implementation of the 10-point agenda, today I set up the infrastructure and the mechanism to pay and compensate all those who lost their lives, those who were injured, those who were hospitalized, as part of healing our nation.
On development, the president committed to bridging regional disparities by increasing Homa Bay's development allocation. He unveiled plans to construct 5 new roads under the affirmative action, signaling a renewed attention to a region that has long since been overlooked.
we have committed to build 5 new roads in Homa Bay County as part of the process of affirmative action, as part of making sure that we build the necessary infrastructure to underwrite and to form a foundation for the progress and the development of this county and
President Ruto's address today marked a shift in tone from division to unity as Ruto reaffirmed his administration's commitment to justice, inclusivity, and equal development. The president's message was clear: healing the nation is only possible through cooperation, compassion, and deliberate action.
And at least 21 people have been confirmed dead following a tragic bus crash at the Coptic roundabout on the Kisumu-Kakamega Road. The bus, owned by AIC Naki High School, was carrying mourners returning from a funeral when it veered off the road and overturned. Among the deceased are 10 women, 10 men, and a 10-year-old girl. Regional Traffic Commander Peter Minor said investigations are underway to determine the cause. Authorities have ruled out student involvement and are now calling for tighter regulations on school-owned vehicle usage. And Interior Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen has called for stronger measures to address the rising cases of gender-based violence, that is GBV, particularly in the Rift Valley. And we shall be having that story in a few minutes as we go for our first break now. We'll be coming back with that and much more. Stay tuned.
Our planet's future is in our hands. However, there is a threat to the brightness of this tomorrow. On EarthCheck, we share the challenges, the solutions, and the hope.
I would call this a very momentous day, a very critical day.
Every episode, every story, every step we take creates a ripple. Join me, the environmentalist Emmanuel Kutosi, on KUTV every Wednesday at 8 p.m. and be part of EarthCheck. Welcome.
Welcome back. Remember, this live broadcast is also on YouTube at KUTV News Kenya. Also talk to us on our X platform at KUTV_Kenya. Now, Interior Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen has called for stronger measures to address the rising cases of gender-based violence, GBV, particularly in the Rift Valley region. While commending the efforts of security agencies, he stressed the need for greater community involvement and stronger coordination with the judiciary to combat these crimes.
Yes, CS Kipchumba Murkomen praised the work of security agencies and judicial bodies in tackling GBV, especially in growing regions. He noted significant progress thanks to collaboration between the National Police Service, the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, and the judiciary, but cautioned that more needs to be done to eradicate GBV completely. And it remains a big challenge in this region, particularly around areas where there are tea plantations. And the security team, including the investigations and the Directorate of Criminal Investigations, have done a good job. We are happy also to note that we have very active and fairly proactive judiciary here, where many cases which are taken to court are taken seriously. CS Murkomen applauded the judiciary's tough stance on sexual offences and its close working relationship with security agencies. He called for heightened efforts to uncover hidden GBV cases, often shielded by family ties, and warned against resolving such cases through alternative disputes, which he said denies justice to victims. Also urged members of the public to actively cooperate with law enforcement. We are happy also to note that we have very active and fairly proactive judiciary here, where many cases which are taken to court are taken seriously, and the severity of the bail terms and punishment is also seen by the seriousness with which the judiciary take these sexual offences. So, Murkomen further expressed concern that a significant number of GBV cases involve family members, making them difficult to expose. Urged police to intensify efforts to identify and support survivors, while underscoring the importance of community protection mechanisms and swift justice. We are saddened by the fact that, sometimes these issues are concealed because the perpetrators are family members, and community tries to use alternative dispute resolution for such serious criminal acts. And we want to encourage the community to come out, expose these pests, especially the ones that are preying on innocent children and women. The Cabinet Secretary called for robust police operations and active community engagement to uncover and address concealed GBV incidents. He reiterated that sustained action is necessary to protect victims and enforce justice throughout the region. Edna Nerea, Kutv, Nairobi.
And 8 people have died following a tragic collision between a Kenya Pipeline Company KPC bus and a cargo train at the Morindat Junction in Naivasha. Several others sustained injuries and were rushed to Naivasha's sub-county hospital for treatment. Among the deceased is the driver of the KPC bus. Authorities have launched investigations into the cause of the accident, with police working in coordination with the Kenya Pipeline officials. Efforts are underway to transfer those in critical condition to Nairobi for specialized medical care. And health services were paralyzed in Siaya County after nurses went on strike, accusing the county government of ignoring their grievances. Led by KNUN Siaya branch officials, the nurses staged a protest in Siaya town and marched to the governor's office, demanding urgent action. Key complaints include delayed promotions and also chronic understaffing and failure to remit statutory deductions. They also decried the non-absorption of UHC contract nurses and violations of their CBA. Union officials declared the strike would continue until their demands are met, urging patients to seek alternatives.
We have staff shortages in Siaya. You even still find that there are some dispensaries now, staffs are working alone. And this is against the labor laws. We find that there are still facilities that are understaffed. So we are requesting the county government of Siaya that can you give us adequate staffing so that we can give quality care to the community.
The employer feels that the issues that we need to be addressed can only be addressed through the Council of Governors and the SRC. Now, being that the county cannot address our issues, and we also had given a time period of 30 days to give room for the negotiation, it elapsed. And from today, we decided to go on strike. This is just a launch for the strike, and we expect numerous engagements come next week.
26 minutes after 9 p.m. time for us to take a short break, our second break here on Kutv Primetime News tonight. We have a lot in store for you still, so keep it here.
Hi, my name is Stella Tioi.
Jina langu naitwa Okemwa Mukwa James.
This is Mandela Gaya.
Ugonjwa ulipokuja ulichukua siku 3 ukaniweka in coma. 20 wamezikwa, 2 ndio wako hai.
I don't even know how it feels to see.
I feel like I cannot express myself well the way somebody who can walk can actually express themselves.
Ilichukua muda mwingi mrefu tena mpana ili kuikubali kwamba mimi siwezi tembea tena.
I've come to actually accept myself.
Ukijaribu kumsimamisha mtu mwambie tafadhali nionyeshe njia,
they find it quite strange talking to you.
You should just make schools integrated,
inclusive setups,
by providing the right facilities.
This year, North Coast Beach Hotel has exciting holiday offers just for you. Whether you are planning an August family break or a magical Christmas getaway. For the August family offer, make memories with your loved ones at only 11,543 Kenya shillings per person, sharing for a 2-night stay on half board. There's free family entertainment, fun indoor games, and lots of activities for children. Plus, get a 10% discount on all extra services during your stay. For the December Christmas holiday, celebrate your festive season in paradise. Book before 31st October to enjoy our exclusive Christmas deal. Stay 3 nights between 23rd December and 2nd January 2026 at only 34,628 Kenya shillings per person, sharing on half board. And for our flexible payment plan, take advantage of our Lipa Mdogo Mdogo plan and pay in easy installments. Call us today to book on 0722-209-458 or 0733-409-430 or email info@northcoastbeachhotel.com. North Coast Beach Hotel, a home paradise.
All right, welcome back. Remember, this live broadcast is also live on YouTube at Kutv News Kenya. Now, Deputy President Kithure Kindiki today met with residents of Moyale in Marsabit County, where he urged them to support the government's development agenda. Now, Kindiki championed the Social Health Insurance Fund, SHIF, encouraging locals to register, emphasizing that the government is committed to serving all Kenyans without discrimination.
Tunaongeza mambo ya mifugo kwa sababu mifugo tunatatizika kwa sababu ya kiangazi. Kwa hivyo rais ameamrisha shirika la kupambana na mambo ya njaa, the National Drought Management Authority na State Department of Livestock washirikiane kusaidia wafugaji kurestock ama kupata mbuzi kidogo, mifugo kidogo ya kusaidia kuanzia maisha tena, sana sana kwa wafugaji ambao walikuwa wamepoteza mifugo wao kwa sababu ya kiangazi. Tuendelee tusiendelee? Tuendelee tusiendelee? Vile vile hapa tunataka kila mwananchi awe na bima ya afya ikukinge kutokana na gharama ya matibabu ukiwa mgonjwa ama mtu wako mpendwa akiwa mgonjwa. Na ndio tumesema ya kwamba kila mwananchi ajiandikishe.
10 years after devolution transformed Kenya's governance landscape, a new national survey reveals a stark paradox. Rising hopes for local empowerment are colliding with deep frustrations over broken promises. We dig into the third phase of devolution, its successes, shortfalls, and the growing citizen revolt simmering below the surface.
Devolution was marked as Kenya's great equalizer, promising to bring power, resources, and services closer to the people. And in many places, that promise has shown glimpses of success. 48% of Kenyans now report improved local services, from clean water projects to health dispensaries. In a sign of growing local confidence, governors enjoy a 30% trust rating, far outpacing the presidency, slumping to 9%. This, according to a Sauti za Wananchi study by Twaweza East Africa.
As we have the conversation about devolution, the citizens' voices ought to be on the table.
This coming 4 days before the beginning of the devolution conference, expected to be held within the country on the 12th of August.
Are we really there with service delivery? Your guess is as good as mine. I think it's only last week that we are treated to some places, I don't know, there's Paraka Nidi, where we still have very, very dilapidated.
But beneath these gains, a crisis is festering, as 75% of Kenyans feel that they have no real influence over county decisions. Public participation meetings, 58% dismiss them as political theater, where decisions are already made and citizens merely informed, not consulted. The foundations of local democracy are also showing cracks. 65% of respondents cite abduction of activists and restriction of free speech as key sources of despair. In Nairobi County alone, public dissatisfaction surges to 72%. The message is clear. Fear is silencing dissent. Yet amid the disillusionment, new actors are emerging. Gen Z, Kenya's youngest demographic, now rank as the country's most trusted group, scoring 31% in the rating. That's more than the police, who have a rating of 9%, and Parliament with 8%. Combined, their tool of choice is social media, a digital arena for demanding accountability. But while the youth mobilize online, many older rural citizens dismiss their outcry as just noise. So what do Kenyans want? The survey identifies 3 key fixes: transparency, open up budgets and protect plans to public scrutiny; courage, an end to abductions and protection of dissenting voices; third, inclusion, the use of technology and incentives to genuinely listen to all voices, young, old, urban and rural.
100 bob. Why do you think I'll give you 200 bob? I'll give you the 100 bob. Na kwa sababu nataka ukua mzuri nikupatie 110. That is what you're all suffering from. Even the
devolution's promise is still alive. But 10 years in, its legacy will be defined by a simple question: will Kenya's leaders finally let the people govern?
We are about to disperse the first DLI of our.
Now, residents of South Ngariama in Mwea East, Kirinyaga are celebrating progress after the Ministry of Lands released a register of bona fide landowners following a long-awaited adjudication exercise. The disputed 17,000-acre ranch has been a hotspot of tension and underdevelopment for decades. Officials have urged any objections to be filed within 60 days. Kirinyaga East DCC Frederick Ayeko praised the community's cooperation with former Deputy Governor Peter Ndambiri, thanked the president and called for swift issuance of title deeds. Locals now hope to finally receive ownership documents and move forward in peace and development.
Kila mtu apate taito angalia ili tuweze kukopa pesa kwa bank, tuweze kudevelop na kujenga huku. Tungependa kuona magorofa inakuja hapa ama namna gani, na tuweze kupata pesa ya kufanya biashara zingine. Kisa ambavyo tumeshirikiana nanyi tangu mwaka uliopita mpaka wakati huu, tumekuwa na amani ya kutosha kuhakikisha kwamba hiyo kazi Ezekiel alituma kufanya hapa inaendelea kufanyika kwa njia bora. Asanteni sana. La pili ni kuhakikishia kwa niaba ya serikali ya kwamba tutazidi kutoa usalama wa kutosha, kuhakikisha kwamba hiyo kazi ambayo iko mbele yetu inaendelea kwa utulivu bila kuwa na machafuko pale popote.
Ni kushukuru tu serikali jinsi wametushughulikia watu Angaliama, sisi kama watu Angaliama juu ya taito. Juu tumeishi hapa kungonjea mataito zetu. Tulikuwa tunaambiwa tumekaa mahali hapafai, sisi si wa mahali hapa, lakini leo wametuhakikishia ya kwamba sisi ni sehemu ya Angaliama.
Land adjudicator amekuja hapa na ametuhakikishia ya kwamba title deed siko tayari ya South Angaliama. Kwa hivyo wenyeji wa South Angaliama wako na furaha kubwa.
As the world marks the International Day of Indigenous Peoples tomorrow, pastoralist women from over 23 counties, including Tanzania, are celebrating gains in land ownership and leadership. Speaking in Nanyuki, Laikipia County, the women lauded the milestone of acquiring title deeds, a right once reserved for men. They also noted significant strides in occupying key leadership positions that allow them to influence policy and support grassroots communities. They called for inclusive collaborations to ensure no one is left behind in progress for indigenous rights.
And today, 10 years down the line, we have women, grassroots women, women who do not write and read, but they hold the title deed. That is a huge milestone that we are talking.
Welcome back. Now let's get sporty. And Kakamega Governor Fernandes Barasa has announced that the multi-billion shilling Buhungu Stadium is fully prepared to host the Federation of East African Secondary Schools Sport Association FEASA games next week. Speaking during an inspection tour, the governor confirmed that final touches are being completed and the facility will be ready by Sunday. Barasa underscored the significance of the event in promoting sports tourism and stimulating the country's economy. The FEASA Games are expected to draw thousands of athletes and spectators from across the region, marking a major milestone in Kakamega's continued investment in sports infrastructure. And Athletics Kenya has launched a nationwide registration exercise for all athletics training camps, coaches, medical personnel, and other support staff involved in athlete development. The drive aims to standardize and regulate athletic operations nationwide, promoting a safe, professional, and accountable training environment. The exercise begins on August 12, 2025 in the South Rift region and will roll out to 11 other regions through November. All applicants must present valid professional certifications and police clearance certificates. In addition, foreign nationals participating in athletics activities are required to provide valid work permits for approval. And Interior CS Kipchumba Murkomen has praised the National Police Service (NPS) for their contribution to Kenya's football success at the African Nations Championship (CHAN). Speaking in Bomet during the 26th Jukwaa la Usalama, Murkomen commended police teams AP Bomet and Kenya Police FC for producing players who feature in Harambee Stars. He says the officers' discipline and resilience were evident in Kenya's performance against Angola. Murkomen, who is the patron of AP Bomet, urged Kenyans to celebrate NPS achievements beyond corruption narratives and pledged support in building a stadium to further boost sports in the region.
Police Service has two teams in the Premier League, the AP of Bomet and the Kenya Police team, which is who are the champions. So if you see us going to Kasarani and cheering our national team, just know that the National Police Service has contributed about 5 police officers who are playing in the current CHAN. And so if you saw that fighting spirit of our team yesterday, the chances are part of the that spirit is coming from the resilience of National Police Service. So we are not always about bribes and corruption, and we must also be celebrated. We are serious sports.
It is 15 minutes to the top of the hour. Thank you so much for staying here to be informed on what's happening in the country and beyond our borders. The conversation continues tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. where Mizizi Weekendi will be coming to you live, and at 9 p.m. where Weekend Live will also be coming to you live, so you continue to be informed on what's happening in your country and beyond your borders. Our sign language interpreter tonight is Samuel Kello, not forgetting my producer, who goes by the name Emmanuel Kutosi, my director, the one and only Boniface Odhiambo, and not forgetting a very bright guy who actually goes by the name Brighton, who has been of great help in this bulletin. My name is Mutegi K. Martin. Good night.